The New York Times. My dream wedding was a bare-bones affair. After 4 years of dating, my fiancé, Mike, and I exchanged vows in a courtroom 14 floors above his office last April. His boss, a prominent judge, officiated. Only our immediate families and my 2 best friends were in attendance. I didn't even carry a bouquet. When the 10-minute ceremony was over, we snapped a few photos before we dined at a farm-to-table restaurant across the street. Unlike an elopement, which is organized by the bride and groom in secret, a microwedding retains some of the structure of a traditional wedding, except on a smaller scale. Elisa Tong, a life cycle celebrant, a sort of personalized ceremony planner, performs over 70 weddings a year in the New York, New Jersey and Pennsylvania area, and said she defined a microwedding as a wedding ceremony with 15 witnesses or fewer. According to the Knot, the average cost for a wedding in 2016 was $35,329, with higher averages in places like South Florida $48,596, Chicago $60,035, and New York City $78,464. That's a lot of canapes, cocktails and cake. While average wedding costs have ballooned, however, guest lists have shrunk. The Knot's 2016 Real Weddings survey reports that the average number of wedding guests was down to 141 in 2016, compared with 149 in 2009. While there are no firm numbers on how many tiny weddings occur in a given year, experts said more couples were choosing to streamline their nuptials, trim the fat and go micro. Christina Friedrichsen, founder of IntimateWeddings.com and author of Intimate Weddings Planning a Small Wedding That Fits Your Budget and Style, understands why couples are embracing the shift. There is an overall trend towards minimalism and simplicity, and that goes for weddings too. Planning a traditional wedding takes a great deal of time and energy, Ms. Friedrichsen said. So many people are overwhelmed just dealing with the pressures of day-to-day life. They simply don't want the added stress of orchestrating a large event. Decision fatigue is real. A tiny wedding helps to alleviate some of that. Micro-weddings afford a lot more flexibility and they're easier on the budget, Tatiana Brenizer, a Brooklyn-based wedding photographer, said. She and her husband, Ryan Brenizer, shoot about a dozen micro-weddings a year. They even celebrated their own micro-wedding in Prospect Park on June 9, 2015, but the small size of micro-weddings doesn't mean they're headache-free. Here's what you should know if you're thinking about having one. Prepare for pushback. Not everyone might be thrilled you're having an intimate wedding. Feelings might be hurt when you limit the guest list so severely, as it might go against expectations that friends and family members had that they would be invited to celebrate. Approaching the subject with confidence is key. The more secure and confident a couple is when they drop this bomb on their family, Ms. Tong said, the easier that they'll take it. She suggests sharing beautiful pictures of your wedding on social media to take the sting out of it for people who couldn't attend. Once they see how private the ceremony was, she reasoned, people are more likely to understand why they weren't invited. Decide on must-haves. For couples, must-haves are different, but for a smaller wedding with a teensy budget, you should narrow down the essentials. Because I have a sweet tooth, my only must-have for my wedding was a custom cake from my favorite bakery. Mike's only requirement was having a non-religious ceremony, as I'm Jewish and he's Catholic and he didn't want to give the appearance of favoring one family's traditions over another. For other couples, their must-have can be a particular location that holds sentimental value, like the couple's first date or first kiss. Consider a place that's meaningful, Ms. Brenizer said. She suggests scouting the location at the time of day you're planning on getting married to see what the crowds are like. Yes, you should still create a registry no matter what size or type of wedding you're having. It's always a good idea to register, said Kathy McTeague, Bloomingdale's director of the registry. Many couples that have micro-weddings organize less formal get-togethers and celebrations leading up to the wedding date, and their friends and family members may want to throw them parties as well. Many people will want to get gifts for these events. Ms. McTeague also recommended registering for enough gifts to allow those who attend to have a nice selection to choose from across a variety of price points. Not everyone agrees that having a registry is a necessity, but for us, it came in quite handy. We were surprised when coworkers, long-distance friends and relatives who weren't invited to the wedding still wanted to buy us gifts. By assembling a reasonable registry, we not only helped guide them, but we also received items we could actually use. If you can get married at it, it's a wedding outfit. Maggie Winters-Gadayan, co-founder of Washington's Pop Wed Co. and author of Fun Size Weddings, The Simple Guide to Planning a Tiny Wedding You'll Love, says that when it comes to micro-wedding attire, there are no rules. There are nudist weddings out there. There are weddings where people spend $15,000 on a beautiful dress. There are weddings where people get married dressed up like their favorite character from a movie, Ms. Gideon said. You can get married in anything as long as that is the outfit you feel amazing in. Small receptions offer lots of freedom in the same way attire and location are open to customization. Receptions for microweddings can be tailored to reflect the interests and needs of the couple. Aside from being cheaper to facilitate, smaller receptions allow the wedded couple to spend quality time with each guest, something brides and grooms aren't usually able to do when entertaining larger wedding parties. As an elopement planner, Ms. Gideon helps organize a variety of small wedding receptions. She's seen couples celebrate their union with a picnic in the park or renting out space at a bar or restaurant. One couple even had a group sleepover at a campground. Sometimes newlyweds forego a reception altogether, instead opting to hit the road and celebrate with their far-flung relatives. Some of our couples will have multiple parties, Ms. Gideon said. One couple had a party for their D.C. area family and then had a party for the Minnesota area family a couple of months later. It's still a wedding and vendors will charge accordingly. Even though I was unusually low-key about my wedding, vendors still charged wedding prices. My beloved bakery charged this wedding prices even though our cake was for a smaller number of people than they would usually prepare and order for. You can get Ubers for 12 guests in ways that you probably can't for 100, Mr. Brenizer said. But you still have all of those same considerations: weather, transportation, flowers, your music, your photography. Every time that you hire a vendor, you still have to consider contracts and payment and all of that stuff just the same. Appoint a coordinator. It was stressful fielding text messages and coordinating transportation while simultaneously applying mascara and squirming into my Spanx before the main event. If I had to do my wedding over again, I would appoint a coordinator, perhaps a relative or trusted friend, for the day of the wedding to be a contact for those last minute details, I would suggest, because everyone's all embedded together for the whole day, getting ready, driving to the ceremony, and going out to dinner. I think you could use maybe a day web coordinator, Ms. Tong said. You need to enjoy and not be trying to keep people organized or keep looking at the watch. It can be especially tough when you're bringing two families together and everyone's sense of time and urgency is different. For that reason, you need somebody to be the buffer, she recommends. Embrace flexibility. Andy Mills and his wife, Jerry Cole, had their microwedding on September 14, 2014, on Fire Island with about a dozen of their immediate family in attendance. We decided to have a small wedding because we realized how expensive weddings are and it wasn't an expense we thought we wanted to spend, Ms. Cole said. For their ceremony, Ms. Cole maintained some traditions and ditched others. She didn't wear a white dress and didn't get married in a church, but she still jumped the broom. When you choose to detach yourself from all cultural customs of what a wedding is supposed to be, it's actually really liberating, Ms. Cole said. Her advice to others considering a microwedding: allow yourself to create the wedding. Do whatever you want to do.